Hey guys, Sam here, KrakenLipsTv, episode 3. Got some big stuff to talk about today. Number 1, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for our first 50 subscribers. And I think how we're going to do it is 1, follow my Instagram page, and I'm going to leave a link in the description. 2, like and subscribe to the YouTube. And then 3, comment a picture of your PB. Doesn't matter what species, could be any species: salmon, steelhead, bass, surf perch, crappie, lingcod, sturgeon. Doesn't matter what it is. Just a picture of your PB on any of my videos. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a number, and we're going to do kind of like a raffle type deal. And I'm going to pull a name out of the hat, and whoever wins, I'm going to DM you, get your information, and I'm going to send it straight to your house through the mail. And what I'm going to do is going to be a Kraken Lips tackle box, right? I'm going to have some stuff in there for bass fishing. Actually, Kyle over at Solo Reliance gave us some Guggen baits, the 10-inch Mondo worm, and the green pumpkin color. So that's a big one. You guys are going to like that. Those work great. So that's going in the Kraken Lips tackle box. So there's going to be some other items in there. And then there's going to be 2 mystery items. I'm not going to tell you guys about it, but you're going to like it. And I'm going to want to hear from whoever wins how they like the mystery items. So yeah, it's going to be kind of cool. I'm excited about that. Number 2, got myself a GoPro. So there's going to be some more videos of me cracking some lips here soon. Me actually cracking lips. Not just pictures on the Instagram or Facebook. But, yeah, so that's pretty cool. I've actually got a trout fishing trip planned out with Kyle over at Solo Reliance here pretty soon. So we're going to get some video cracking some lips there. He's probably going to do a video for his page. I'm probably going to do one for my page. And I'm probably going to be fishing a lot more than he is for the trout, so we're going to get some more videos of that with the GoPro. So that's pretty cool. And since we're going trout fishing, I thought might as well do a tutorial on how to set up for trout fishing. There's two ways I like to fish for trout. I like to use a floating bait system, and I like to use a spinner. So, without further ado, let's just go into it. Let's start out showing you how to tie up the spinner. Pretty easy. And the way I'm going to be doing it, this is how I like to fish for Chinook salmon out in the Columbia River. And it's solely just for convenience, is the way I like to set this up. I started doing it when I was young for salmon. How you do it is you take a snap swivel and you tie that straight to your main line. That way, if you want to try something else, what you're working with isn't being productive, tie up another leader while you're still fishing, bring your gear in, and then snap your new leader straight on, snap the old one off, back in the water that fast. So it's solely for convenience, and it works out really good. So I got 30-pound braid here. And let's get a little bit more slack here. A little bit more slack. So, braid here. If you remember from the last video with the Texas rig, you'll remember this knot. You bend it in half. So it's like one line, right? We're going to go through the eye of the snap swivel. Bring it out. About yay much. This tag in here, this guy, you want him on the bottom. So we're going to leave him on the bottom. You take this guy right here. We're just going to wrap it 3-4 times, just enough. And we're going to get her wet. Back through, see that tiny, you can barely see it because my hands, I'm sorry guys, but you see this tiny little loop you just made. You want to go through the back side of that, if I can get her in there, Boom, back through the back side of that. Pull it tight, right? And you take this tag end, pull that tight. Make sure it's nice and cinched down. Now you got this tag end, and you got this tag end. You should have a knot that looks like that. We're gonna cut both of those tag ends off. It creates a drag issue in the water. It doesn't look natural. If fish see it, they're gonna be like, what the hell is that? Also, it gets tangled in your line. It's just an inconvenience, and there's no reason for them to be there. So you just cut them right off. So now we got those tag ends off. Now we're gonna tie up our leader for the spinner. And what I got here, I got some Berkley Big Game 10-pound monofilament. You're going to take off about 2.5, 3 feet leader off that spool leader you got there. Now, we're going to take a barrel swivel. You'll see why we're going to tie this on here in a second. And because this is monofilament, you're going to be using a different knot. And the reason why is because braid is slicker. It's a completely different line. That doesn't float. This line floats. And because the braid is slicker and this is not, you're going to want to use a different knot so it doesn't break off as easy. So we're going to start by going through the eye of the barrel swivel, right? Pull some out, and we're going to take this end. We're going to go back in the exact same way we just did. We're going to create a loop. We're going to pull that. We're going to take this line right here, right? We're going to take this line with our other finger. We're going to create a second loop. And you're just going to wrap around the main stem of the line 3 or 4 times, just enough. Get her wet. Back through the backside. Both loops. Back through the backside of both loops. Now, you just cinch it tight. It just falls right down, just like that. Make sure it's pulled tight. And because this is 10-pound mono, you don't want to pull too tight. Sometimes I've been there, I'm tying a leader, and I pull and I accidentally break it. Now I have to retie a whole leader, and I'm not happy. Again, tag end. We're just going to cut it off. Doesn't need to be there. Alright, so now we have that. Boom. Now we're going straight to the spinner. Now let's talk about spinners for a second. There's different kinds. You got the blue foxes. You've got the panther martins. This right here is a rooster tail, chartreuse blade with some speckles. And then the weight is chartreuse and black with a black feather. You can see I've used this one a lot because the feather's all kind of screwed up a little bit. But I catch a lot of fish this one, so this is my go-to, my favorite spinner for trout. And there's different sizes. You got 1/8, there's 1/16. I think I've seen some 5/8, halves, ounce weights that are on the spinner. And I like these ones, the rooster tails, a little bit more than the blue foxes. And I think it's because of the way this weight is shaped. I think it has something better to do with the action in the water. So I usually go with the rooster tails or the panther martins. And this is a 1/8 size. I usually like to use the 1/8 size. I can get it out where I need it to be. It sinks into the water where it needs to be. And I just do a lot better with the 1/8 ounce size. So that being said, we're going to tie it on. Exact same knot we just did for the barrel swivel. Going through the eye. Pull some out. Back again through the eye. I'm sorry, my hands are in the way. It's kind of hard to see. But now we got the loop. And now we've got our second loop. And now we're going to wrap. Get her wet. Back through the back side of both loops. and just pull her tight. Get her cinched down there. Get her pulled tight. And then we're going to cut that tag end off. Now, we've got our leader for a spinner, right? We've got that barrel swivel on this side. We're going to go to our line that we just tied the snap swivel onto and just open her up. Put the barrel swivel on there. Close her up again. That's what I mean by convenience. You just snap on, snap off, back in the water that quick. And that's why I like to do the setup. It's really convenient when you're, fishing out in the Columbia River, buoy 10, fall salmon, spring salmon. You have your stuff pre-made and you just go for it. All right, with that being said, we're going to go to the floating bait situation. And a little bit different of a setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this snap swivel off. And I'll show you why here in a second. Because the spinner had weight on it, right? Well, you're going to be tying a leader with just a hook. So there's going to be no weight on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1/8 ounce bullet weight, right? And I'm going to put this on there. What I like about this is it slides up and down the line, so there's not as much tension when you set the hook or you get a bite, right? Sometimes if you use the split shots, there's a little bit more tension, or maybe a weight that you just tied straight onto your line. There's a little bit more tension, and your chances of a hookup are going to drop dramatically. So that's why I like to use these bullet weights, because it slides up and down the line with the current of the water and whatnot, and you're not going to get those missed hookups or missed attempts there. So what I did there is I just put that barrel swivel straight onto the main line, right? Now what we're going to do is we are going to tie on a new snap swivel. So again, because this is braid, we are going to bend it in half through the eye. All right, now I'm gonna give us some more slack here. All right, gonna put that tag end on the bottom, and we're gonna give her some wraps. 3-4 times. Get her wet. Back through the backside. Pull it tight. Alright, so now we got that tied. Now let's move on to the leader. And the first half of the leader is going to be the same. We're going to tie on another barrel swivel with the same 10-pound mono. Second part, where we tie on the hook, going to be a little bit different. We're going to show you guys a whole new knot. So we got our 10-pound mono. Let's tie on our barrel swivel. Back through the backside. Make your loop. Make your second loop. Do your wraps. Get her wet. Back through the backside. Cinch tight. Super easy knots. Super easy setups. Like I said, when you're out in the field, you're out fishing, This goes by really quickly. Once you get the hang of the knots, just tied, you know. So now we got that tied on. Now we're going to go to our hooks. Here I'm using, just for sake of argument, just because I had them laying around, Eagle Claw laser sharp needle point hooks in size 4, red color. This is the size that they are. It looks a little bit easier for you guys. A little bit smaller hooks. Trout, they're not that big a fish. They've got small mouths, so this is a perfect size hook for the trout. And this is the new knot. It's called the Snell. I don't know if you guys have ever tied this before, but the easiest knot in the world to tie. I'm actually going to cut this barrel swivel off because I forgot I was going to be tying a Snell. Because a lot of times what I like to do, again for convenience and because it's faster, I'll go buy the pre-tied leaders at the store. And I've never had an issue with them. I know a lot of people don't like them. Oh, they're pre-tied Snell leaders. But I've never had an issue with them. People say they break. I've never had that issue. And it's convenient. You've already got them tied. You can snap them right on. But I wanted to show you guys how to Snell. So we're not going to be using those today. So what you do is you take your hook and you hold it just like that, right? You take your leader and you put it through the eye of your hook, right? Just like that, and you want it to be parallel with the shank, just laying right on the backside, on the top of that shank, right there, right? Then you're going to take this hand in this part of the line, and you're going to wrap around the line that's on, if I can get it started, that's on top of that shank. Once you get it started, it's easy. There we go. And you want your wraps to be really tight. You don't want them to be overlapping or anything like that, because then it's not going to work out. And it's going to look like that. Kind of foggy, I'm sorry guys, but that's what it should look like. And then you want to pinch that right there. Then you're going to take your line on this end, and you're going to go back through the top side of the eye. You can go back down, and you're going to pull it through. And you're just going to pull it tight, and it should just all cinch up on each other like that, right? All cinch up. And the reason why this is such a good knot, because technically it's not a knot. There's no pinch points, so it's not going to break. Your line, your leader is going to break before this does. Your main line is going to break before this does. And that's why everybody likes to use this, especially for salmon fishing, trout fishing, steelhead, because it's a secure knot. It's not going to break. And then this tag end here at the end, you're just going to cut it off. You don't need that. I've seen some people use this to help tie on their baits, but that's for another video, another time. So we're just going to cut off the tag end. And now, you have a snelled hook. And it's going to sit perfectly in the water, just like that. Alright, so now let's tie on the other barrel swivel. Same knot that we've been doing all night. So you guys should know by now. If you don't, well, let's do it again. Alright, so you got your line there. Back through the eye. Make your loop. Make your second loop. And we're gonna wrap the line. Get her wet. And back through both sides. And you cinch her down. Cut your tag end. Boom. Now, you've got your leader, your barrel swivel, snelled hook, And we're gonna clip that straight on to our snap swivel that has the 1/8 ounce bullet weight. And what a lot of people like to do, I didn't do it because I didn't pull my beads out, but what a lot of people like to do, especially when you're going to tie up a weighted Texas rig or anything that's got a weight that's going to be next to a knot like this right here, they'll put a bead in between the weight and the knot, so when that goes down after 50, 60, 70 times, that might wear your knot out if it's not tied properly. So I usually put a bead there just to be safe. I might have had an issue with it once or twice. That's just more gear to put on and bring with you. A lot of people like to do it. I think it's just a personal preference type deal. So there's that. So we're just going to take this and we're going to snap it right on to our snap swivel, right? Just like we did earlier with the that spinner there. So we got that on. Boom. Now you're tied up, ready to go. Now let's talk about baits. Like I said earlier, the theory is with trout is they only look up, right? So you're going to have your gear in the water here, floating. This is going to be floating, kind of like this. And the trout's going to swim underneath of it. Oh, hey, look at that, and tack it. So the theory is you want it to be floating, because they say trout can only see up. So what I got here, I've got some power bait eggs. And these are floating eggs. And these work really good. And I've got the green chartreuse color. And I've got a pink color here. The Berkeley power bait floating eggs. I think another name for them is power eggs. So I'll show you what I like to do with those. Now I'll just pull out a couple of the pink ones for the video. I've seen some people mix match colors, but I think it's really just depending on what's your favorite color to use, because most of the time colors are for the fisherman, not for the fish, you know. A lot of times, chartreuse works better in certain water temperatures, water densities. If there's a lot of mud in the water, a different color might work better. So there is that part, but a lot of time the paint jobs, that's just for the fishermen. So what I'm going to do, I took two balls. I'm just going to feed it into the hook like that. Pull it around. Boom. That's all you need. I like to use two, give it a little bit more floating action. But there's that. Now you're ready to go crack some trout lips. And I'm excited to go. I'm going to be going here, not next week, but the week after that. And so yeah, I look forward to seeing some new pictures, some video of me fishing, maybe a couple videos of me fishing with Kyle over at Solo Reliance. So yeah, I look forward to that. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram so you get your chance at winning the Kraken Lips tackle box. So with that, I like to say tight lines and keep cracking lips, guys. See you later.